This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hello everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Today we are going to be taking a look at a unique little game. It's a deck builder that's not a traditional deck builder. I think that's the best way I can explain it. This game's called Dawn of Legends. A little game from Kitsune Kreations. Okay, neat little game, but I'm gonna go down and try to explain it the best I can, and then we're gonna come back and get my final thoughts on this. So why don't we go down to the table and take a look at Dawn of Legends. You know they're gonna fight. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Let's go down. All right, today we're going to take a look at Dawn of Legends. I am not going to go over every single rule. There's a lot of things going on with this, but this is a really neat game that it's a deck builder that's really not a deck builder. I think that's the best way to put it. You're going to have these legends, and there's a whole bunch of different legends, and you're going to get a whole bunch with the box set that you get here. As you can see, here's like this cool fox dude. And then the one I really like is this one right here, because that looks just, the art's really cool. And the art in this is really, really fantastic. Now, you're going to have a deck of cards, and what you're going to do is you are going to draw 6 cards every single time. You're going to play 4 rounds, and whoever at the end of the game, at the end of the 4th round, has the most victory points is going to win. You're going to have this study area of 50 cards, okay? So you're going to be able to utilize these cards, believe it or not. These are your victory point tokens. These here are tokens that you are going to try to get and get the most of on each one of these land masses, because what they're going to do is give you a certain amount of victory points and sometimes special abilities. Like if you win this card, you're going to get 3 victory points, but you're going to get the first player token, and that's kind of important because you're going to get the first crack at these cards. It's a deck builder that's not really a deck builder. It's really kind of neat how it works. Prepare. You're going to get prepare and 5 victory points. And then this one, the Misty Summit, this is a big boy. You're going to get 7 victory points. So you know, you really want to you want to balance it out and try to get the things that you really need, but for the most part you want to kind of block them from getting all the big victory points. It's best played with 4 players. They do have rules for 2 players. I'm just showing 2 players just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on here. At the beginning of your turn, you're going to have player actions. You're going to get 6 cards that you're going to deal to yourself, and you can discard a card, okay, in order to grab one of these cards. Now, when you grab one of these cards and you only discard 1 card, it goes into your preparation area. Now, this is your preparation area, which is beneath here. Now, what happens here is the next time you go to refill your deck, I mean your hand, you're going to take this card first. So you can strategically get a card that you think is really going to help you on the following turn and think ahead and kind of move with it. The other thing that you can do is you can discard 2 cards from your hand, okay? And what that's going to do is it's going to recruit. So you're going to discard these 2 cards, and then you're going to grab another card from the study, and you could put it in your active card slot. Now, every time you grab a card, you're going to replace a card. I did not do that. But let's just move along here, and I want to show you a couple things, because this is really neat on how this works, okay? What's going to happen here is you may play a card from your hand and go, yeah, I want to get that out there, and you're going to want to play this here. Well, when you do that, it's going to push all these cards this way or that way, depending on what you want to do. And the cards may have certain abilities that help you put some of these cubes onto the areas here that you may need. okay, depending on what it is. Another neat thing is that once there's, there's a whole bunch here and a couple here, supposedly, let's just say, you're going to have these abilities on some of these cards, which is this they call it Mislu. And you can only have 5 of these at a time. But, if you spend these, you can change these to a color to really tip the balance in your favor. So you may want to get a prepare and do things. You can battle in this, and you're going to fight back and forth, and you're going to be constantly trying to get as many of these victory points as humanly possible. And the variants of cards, there's so many different cards that make this it's never the same game twice. So a really neat little thing in how it works. You can also do a couple things. You could play a card from your hand. You can use your Mislu ability, like we said, and then there's going to be certain things that can activate your legend, which will good. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of different abilities. Replace the opponent's presence. Now, presence is, like I said, you're going to see that a lot on these cards. You want to have your presence in these 3 areas, because that's how you're going to attribute a whole bunch of victory points. And you can attack each other. As you can see, there are abilities that help you draw and discard cards, an attack ability that affects the opponent plan. So you can go over and attack the opponents. You may play a card that can attack an opponent's card and get that card completely out of the way. Once you run out of cards in your hand, you're going to pass, or you may want to keep some cards and pass until and pass and keep those cards for the next turn. The other player will keep on going. Once both players pass, that is the end of the round. You're going to refill your hand, and you are going to go at it again and try to get as much as you possibly can here to attribute all the victory points again. So at the end of the round, these clear off, and then you're going to try to get those victory points once again. All right. That's a brief overview of this game. Very interesting how it works. Let's go up top and get my final. Dawn of Legends. Okay, let's talk about this a little bit. Okay, I like this. I like this a lot, actually. It does a lot of different things, and I hope I explained this, gave kind of a brief overview the best I could. The rule book, it takes a little to wrap your head around. I had a little bit of a tough time trying to figure things out, and then eventually I had to reread it, and then I finally got it. That is probably the only thing that kind of, I wish there were more examples in there. That's not a bad thing. I'm not saying anything bad about it. The thing I like, number one, the art is beautiful. It's a lot of fun. I like the cuteness of it. It's not something you're going to play with kids, I think, that are under 10. I think it'd be hard for them to understand some of the concepts. The deck building aspect of it, it's really different. Having your player board and kind of rotating everything around and everything like that is really interesting. There's a whole bunch of different powers. I mean, I just couldn't sit here and explain everything that I wanted to. And like I said, it did take me a little bit for me to wrap my head around, but that's just me. Okay, this is fun. You get a lot of game in the box, and they're going to keep on coming out with expansions to this. And so you can have a whole bunch more different legends. The only real knock I have on it, and before I get to that, I want to talk about how neat it is to kind of have that elevator motion where you can push things off and use certain abilities and stuff like that, and then you can attack and stop them from having their kind of train going. They may have certain things planned out, and you can completely knock that out of loop. With some of your attacks and some of the abilities that you have. I love the 3 lands on how you have to try to figure out, do I want to be first player and really pre-plan my turn? Do I want to have that preparation and make sure that I get the proper preparation, or do I just want to go for all those victory points? You know, really neat. There's a lot of things going on. The only thing, and I want to get back to the only complaint that I had, is when I was separating the blue cubes and the purple cubes, it was hard to figure out which one was which, and that's where somebody that's colorblind might have a problem with this. Okay, all the other cubes you could pretty much see okay, and I don't understand color blindness or anything like that, but if I'm having a problem seeing the colors, and I had a look, you know, with my readers real good, I was worried that maybe somebody might get confused with that. That's the only knock I have on this. Okay, other than that, it's solid. It's enjoyable. Is it a game I'm going to get a chance to bring to the table? No, because I'm by myself all the time. I would love to see them continue this and come out with an additional version, or maybe even a solo variant, because there were a lot of things that were going on that was really cool. So I would love to see if they would come up with something like that. Other than that, this is a very nice and fun game, and I think you should go check it out, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think it's a good, solid, you get a lot of game in this little itty bitty box, and the quality is like ridiculous. So go check it out. Until next time, it is your old pal Rob saying, we'll see you soon.